And we're live. Hello, folks.
Woohoo!
Welcome to Wednesday Night School, I'm calling it, because I'm a teacher. And I thought I would try my hand. And the reason we're on tonight is because I usually go on with Larry, the Carnivore Soldier, at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It's 7 p.m. Eastern Time, my time, and Rick's time. And he said he wasn't going to be on for a few weeks, and I thought, let me try my hand at this myself. So this is my first one, and I thank you. I greatly appreciate you coming on. And let's just go around and introduce ourselves. I'm John Laspina, the carnivore teacher, and I've been doing this for about 5.5 years, eating the proper human diet, a year and a half being carnivore. And I have a YouTube channel to talk all about it because my life has improved so dramatically. And today we're going to talk about how our lives became optimized when we started eating properly. And so that's my shtick. How about you, Christy?
Oh, sorry, I muted myself because I was typing back to DC. He'd like to join us, but he said the original link didn't work. So I said you had sent out a new one, but I didn't know if you sent it.
I didn't send it to him. Let me send it to him while you're talking.
We would like that, please.
I can figure out how to do this. All right.
Anyway, so while I talk, you can do that. So I'm also a teacher, so I thought it was amazing that he called this Wednesday Night School. And my channel is Meeting Wellness, as you can see down there in my little corner. I feel like Rick should be in my corner because the little StreamYard duck is up there.
Oh, sorry.
But anyway, I've been a carnivore for just a little over 1 year. And when John told me the topic, I thought, well, I definitely have to come on and talk about that because my life has become optimized in many ways over the last 365 plus days that I've been eating this way. How about you, Rick?
Well, you know my story. I started carnivore in 1983, and I taught at Miami-Dade College from 2000 to 2013, electronics, computer repair, and some technical math. And I'm the biggest quack you'll find in the carnivore community, and I'm the only one that started the diet in a form of protest. I didn't start it to get healthy, and I don't call it the proper human diet. I call it Rick's heart attack diet.
There you go.
That's awesome. I'm Nia at Nia's Way on YouTube and Instagram. And I'm coming up on my 1-year anniversary carnivore. But I had a round one where I made it 11 months before I got pregnant. And so I've had my ups and downs and all arounds, but I'm back. And I obviously feel the best eating this way. And I've overcome quite a few things. Chronic health issues with my digestion and anxiety and overusing alcohol, we'll call it that, or an alcohol addiction. I was able to conquer it with this. So that's my spiel.
Okay. That's great. I'm waiting for DC. Hopefully he can get it and come in. There he is. He was down the bottom. Here he comes. Hey, thank you for coming. Sorry, I'm learning on the job how to work this program. And I was telling the other people, I think I created 2 links by accident. I tried to delete one. Sounds familiar, right, with my YouTube channel. And so I'm glad that we're all on and we are live. I just tried to check my YouTube to see if I was streaming and it doesn't seem to want to come up. So I don't know what's going on here. Hopefully it's going to work. We're going to talk about how our way of eating has optimized our life, and we all have different stories. So yours is very unique, DC, because you had cancer. You're in remission for 10 years. So tell us how eating carnivore has really saved you, helped you.
Yeah, that can be a long story, but I'll try to keep it short. For me, it all started. I've never stopped eating meat. I've always had meat, but my biggest problem was that I always ate lean meat, and I was very fat phobic. And that with I think a lot of supplements and that sort of stuff, a heavy seed oil sort of diet as well, sort of led to my diagnosis, I think. But cleaning my diet out and we've always cooked at home. I've always had good meals at home in my adult life anyway. but the last 10 years, it's progressively gotten higher and higher in fat intake. It's gotten cleaner, no supplements, no protein powders, that sort of stuff, and much higher in fats, so animal fats, and a good mix of animal fats. So it's really helped me to help like repair and optimize my lymphatic system, my immune system, my cognitive function. After treatments, I was pretty much pre-dementia. It's been one of my biggest fears too, is ending up with severe dementia, because after treatment I couldn't remember people coming to see me to have like a full conversation 10 minutes ago. I couldn't remember having lunch. I couldn't remember anything that was going on. I could barely speak, and I could barely move as well. So it's really helped me to get a normal life back, to get my movement back, to get any kind of like concentration and thinking skills. Are probably one of my favorite side effects of this high-fat diet. But of course, getting out of bed and moving is an incredible feeling as well. There's nothing worse than being, stuck in bed and not knowing what's going on, So it's been incredible for me.
All right. Thank you all for sharing that. So that's just my basic topic tonight. I don't have a list of questions or polls or anything. I just wanted to do my first stream here where we talk about, maybe we can get into specifics, something specifically that really improved. And even Rick, I know you started this when you were 16 years old, right?
15.
15. So go way back in the memory and give me something when we get to you. So I guess my next question would be, all right, what I say at the end of all my videos is eat well so that you can look and feel well and become the optimized version of yourself. I don't know why that just hits home to me. I just think of all the years that I've lived on this planet, and the last 5.5 years have been optimized, and the last year and a half really optimized, because so many wonderful things have happened. And I'm going to pick one. I suffered from severe lower back pain from my mid-20s until 5.5 years ago. And it would come and go. And when it came, sometimes it was so bad. I was a school teacher. I had to get in a chair with the wheels, and I had to roll myself around the classroom because I couldn't even walk. Or I had a pair of crutches permanently stashed in the classroom just for me on those days that my back was so bad. And then I also had a TENS unit that I had to wear. You put them on, in the lower back, and you turn up the electricity, and you trick your brain into feeling the electric pulses instead of feeling the pain. And that helped me get through the days. Then I would take Tylenol and ibuprofen, and I've been to doctors and chiropractors. It was probably the worst thing about my poor diet. And that was caused, I found out later, by inappropriate inflammation from all the seed oil and sugar and starch I had all my life. But I didn't know it, and doctors didn't know it, and the chiropractor didn't. Nobody knew it. Didn't know if it was a ruptured disc or whatever. As soon as I took out the starch, sugar, and seed oil and went keto, and the weight started to come off, the back pain disappeared, and it never came back. Completely gone. And I'm telling you, that's worth $4 billion from the bank, to not have pain and worry about that. It's priceless to have no pain. So that's one of probably 20 things that optimized in my life. But that was a big one for me, because I probably didn't smile as much, and I probably was moody and snapped at people, because when you're in pain, when you're constantly in pain and it hurts, you're not in the best mood. So my mood was off. I probably wasn't the best teacher, So I'm optimized now when it comes to my health in my lower back especially. So that's one. How about you, Christy? What amazing thing happened to you?
Yeah. So, a lot of amazing things happened, and some happened right away, and some happened kind of along the way. And then a couple things have happened recently that I'm pretty excited about. But I guess I'll go back to the beginning. So I've talked about my anxiety a lot, but I guess now I'll talk about my energy. So I had almost no energy, to the point that I was always looking forward to when can I sleep next, right? So like, is it bedtime yet? And if it's not bedtime yet, I'm for sure taking a nap, and I'd wake up from my nap and be like, when's my next nap going to be? Because I felt so tired and had no energy for life. I didn't want to do anything. So the things that I had to do, like I'm responsible. So I did, like I got up and went to my classroom, but it got to the point that that was pretty much about the extent of it. And some of that was because of the social anxiety. I didn't want to be around other people, and I didn't want people to see me or know that I existed. But some of that was because I literally didn't have the energy to get up off the couch. And, in your head, you just think, like for you, you said, well, the doctors didn't know and nobody knew until you got rid of that stuff. And now you know. I was just like, well, everybody says that, right? When you're in your 40s, like I am, you're supposed to go downhill and you're supposed to get more tired. And that's just what happens. And I'm just kind of an introvert, and I'm just kind of, teaching is hard, right? It's you're with 30 kids all day long. And so no wonder I'm tired, right? So I would chalk it up to all that stuff. But I would say, so I went carnivore in June of 2023. And I would say that it was around August. I had so much energy. I was like, I have to do something. Like I have to do something. And the first thing I did was I started sprinting on a regular basis, because I had just happened to watch a Dr. Sean O'Mara video about that, and it sounded good to me. And I thought I could do that because I have all this energy. So there I am at that time. I'm 48 now, but at that time, 47, running up and down my cul-de-sac, like where people could see me sprinting, probably looking ridiculous to others, but like I don't care because my social anxiety is gone, and it felt really good. I could feel the wind in my ears, and I felt myself getting faster every day. It made my muscles a little bit sore. So I knew that I was actually, gaining some muscle in my legs, which I've never been able to tone, and where if I do have any fat on my body, it tends to go straight there. It's like I had these muscles in my legs that weren't there before. So then that felt good. And then that just motivated me to do more and more. And it's like I have the desire to do things and the energy to get them done. So that's pretty fantastic, coming from a person who is kind of a slug before. How about you, Rick? Did you think of one, Mr. I've been on this diet for over 40 years?
Well, I can think of quite a few. I was an extremely unhappy kid because of how short, skinny, and frustrated I was, and I hated school, and I didn't like my life much at all. I always looked forward to going home, hanging out with the ducks, working on my little projects, having my little chemistry lab in the backyard, my garden. That's what I liked. And I hated going to school, so I thought, you know what? I'm going to give myself a heart attack. And it just, everything kind of aligned in a certain way where I was just eating meat. And I'll tell you, I had no idea that it would do anything good. I figured that, I would just fall over one day and that'd be the end of it. But it turned out that I actually went from being one of the shortest kids in junior high, to the second tallest in high school, from having a C average to a straight A average, and just feeling a lot better and just being able to learn better. And, they had a lot of benefits, let's put it that way. And it wasn't something that I was trying to do, because pretty much every one of the carnivores that you see that come out on YouTube, they talk about all the health problems they had. I didn't have any of those health issues. Back trouble, I've never had that. I mean, you think about all the problems that people have. I've never had really any of them. I haven't had digestive issues. I haven't had skin problems. I mean, the worst skin problem I ever had was falling into velvet bean, or getting, in some plant sticking me with the thorns, or maybe getting bitten by one of the iguanas or something else out there. But other than that, there wasn't any real health issues. My biggest thing was just I wanted to be different, and therefore it was not difficult for me to start the carnivore diet and stay with it. I did try the plant-based diet in 93, and of course it made me feel so bad that I realized, I discovered what migraine headaches were. I discovered what diarrhea pretty much every day was, and I discovered what hating to eat was. So yeah, I started out as a relatively normal kid, got into the carnivore diet, then after 10 years got out of it, tried the plant-based diet, and that just told me, no, you can't do the plant-based diet. I went back to the carnivore diet, and I've been calling it the heart attack diet ever since. In fact, when the guy opened the Heart Attack Grill in Arizona and later Las Vegas, I remember my dad pointed that out when it was on the Nightline or some type of news show, and it was like, yeah, I can identify with that. So I just kept pushing it. Heart attack diet, Rick's heart attack diet, eat all the meat and fat that you can, and one day you'll just drop dead of a heart attack. But it hasn't happened yet. I'm sure it'll happen eventually. But I'm already 56 years old, and I was told that, by the time you reach 55, you would already have a heart attack. You'd probably be on several medications, but it hasn't happened. My blood pressure, they told me, was abnormally low. It's 90/60 when I'm resting, but it goes up when I work, and I do take regular measurements. I haven't been to a doctor since 1996, so I don't know what any of my blood markers are. In fact, like I said, I could drop dead at any time. I could just walk outside and fall over, and next thing you know, the ducks will be having me for lunch. So, I mean, who knows? But again, I think that the biggest change that I've noticed has just been a combination of things that made me no longer want a heart attack. And even though I still call it heart attack diet, heart attack chicken, heart attack burger, and all that, I realize that I don't think my chance of getting a heart attack is worse than anybody else's. So again, there's a lot of benefits. There's been a few downsides, of course. I mean, every time that the price of meat goes up, that's a little bit of a downside. And then when you go to someone's house and they want to offer you all their wonderful things that they cook, most of the time it's like, okay, yeah, whatever. Sometimes I'll take a bite of their duck food and, it doesn't appeal to me. And I have to hold my tongue because sometimes I'll just say, no, no, no. Oh, Rick, you're so hard-headed. You don't want to do anything. Yeah, I just don't like it. You want a pizza? No, I don't like pizza. I don't like pizza. They'll throw me, like yesterday, a customer threw me an oatmeal cookie. Well, you know where that went. Whack, 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 whack. Donuts. You go to an office to do some work there. They have a box of donuts. They have coffee. And they have those little pastries. And, Cubans, they have the pastelitos. And they have the churros and all this other stuff. And like, nope, don't want that. But over time, your friends learn. It's like my friend today, I was helping him with a little electrical work. He gave me a package of ground meat. Figured, I'd like that. And then people get me things like chicken and fish and shrimp and stuff like that. That's all good. The only thing I had to learn is that when somebody else cooks the food, you have to be very careful because since I've been on this diet for so long, there are certain things that wouldn't affect a regular person that can have a terrible effect on me. So that's the downside. You become used to eating a certain way. But on the upside, you feel good. You're happy. Things don't bother me as much as they used to when I was a kid. Other people don't bother me as much as some people get aggravated. So in the long term, it's actually pretty good. But what's the best part of this whole diet? It's being able to meet people like you, that what you've been able to accomplish. And now I'm part of a community. Instead of being the one heart attack guy in Miami, now I'm part of a group.
I can just imagine headlines 100 years or so. Yeah, world's oldest Floridian dies of heart attack at 156. It was the meat that got him.
That's what. That would be funny.
156. I could see it. At least past 120. You're going strong. How about you, Nia?
So far so good. How long I'm going to live? And the longest anyone lived in my family was 94. But I don't care. I don't care if I die at 94 as long as I do it when I'm active. I'm doing something. Maybe I'm working on my car. I'm doing something outside, or I'm chasing after an iguana. I'm out there, trying to catch an iguana and then just drop dead. That's just like when I was a kid. I used to have a song, you're going to have a heart attack. You're falling. How did I used to put it? You'll fall right down and you won't be coming back. That kind of thing. That was the whole idea. It wasn't a matter of living. It wasn't a matter of living forever. It was just a matter of enjoying what life you had. And then after that, that's out of your hands. That's up to God or whatever else you believe in. While you're here, you do the best you can. Nobody wants to be sick. Nobody wants to be bedridden. I took care of my parents when they got sick, and I don't want to end up in that situation. It's just really, even my mom, she wanted to die. And I kept telling her, I said, look, you want to die? Join me on the heart attack diet. But I could never get her to eat a steak. She hated steak. And I tried everything. I even tried to make her a heart attack burger junior. Nope, wasn't good enough. She wanted the patty really, really thin, lots of vegetables. And, Rick's heart attack burger, you got 4 half-pound patties, you got 8 slices of cheese, you got buns made out of pork rinds, eggs, and cheese.
Oh, that sounds
over.
good.
Oh, it's excellent.
It sounds
And if you
amazing.
like calories, it's over 10,000 calories. And let me
Okay.
tell you, it just the flavor is amazing.
I bet.
And-
All right, I'm driving down.
There you go. Get that heart attack burger. That's
Oh,
a
yeah.
good one.
Oh, wow.
I agree, Rick. It's not about how long you're here, but how healthy you are
Quality of
while
life.
you're here. I like Dr. Kiltz, but he always says like, take care of the Ferrari, don't push it too hard. I think drive it as hard as you can, and drive the wheels off it, and then let the engine explode.
That's the theory. That's the lifestyle. That's the ethos of the heart attack diet. You maximize your fun, and you just enjoy your life. And then one day it all kind of falls apart. The engine blows up, the wheels fall off, the panels fly off. You die of a heart attack. By the time the rescue gets to you, there's no saving you. You don't have to worry about being revived in the hospital. They just look at you and go, you know what? He lived his life. He's done.
Yeah. All right, Nia, how about you?
My background is from chronic digestive problems. So that really started when I was a teen. I'm now 37. And so it took me from about 15, 16 to about age 30 to whittle my way down through process of elimination. I started out plant-based, vegetarian, vegan, and then found ancestral paleo. And then, it took me till about age 30 to get down to only meat. And that's when I'm also a mom, as you can hear, if anyone doesn't know already. She waited till it was my turn to speak to make noise too. So she's getting smarter by the day. But I basically just kept cutting things out, and I learned over time about all the different things that are in plants that can trigger gut issues, because that's what I was interested in, because that's what I was mainly suffering from. And so when it dawned on me that, plants want to survive, and therefore they defend themselves, and they don't defend themselves in the same way animals can, right? So they are doing that chemically. And, the intention of those chemicals is to inhibit the organ systems of the predatory species that's eating it, right? So the digestive system, the nervous system, the circulatory system, all these things, right, are being affected in one way or another by these plant toxins. And so when I finally got into only meat, I realized, okay, all my digestive problems went away, and all of it started making sense for the first time as to why I had been sick for so long. I also had a lot of anxiety, a lot of social anxiety throughout my life, and sort not necessarily depression, I would say, but periods of just being very apathetic, almost like I could not get in touch with any emotion whatsoever, just very numb, very unmotivated. And I always had this voice in the back of my head telling me, like, I'm here to do something, I'm here to do more, like there's a purpose for me that I need to act on, but I just, for whatever reason, couldn't get in touch with it, couldn't figure it out. And so that always really bothered me a lot. And that's something, and then that's kind of where the whole alcohol thing came in. So I used alcohol as a coping mechanism to numb physical and emotional pain. And so, and to numb anxiety. And so it was just sort of my Band-Aid for everything. And that became an addiction for me for many years. I also worked as a bartender. I worked in the alcohol industry for many years. And so it was part of my lifestyle. And so that was something that I knew I needed to once and for all get a hold of. And so that was really my goal this time, going carnivore, because I had been eating basically carnivore probably the last 6 months before I started again. but I kept falling off the wagon. I kept wanting to binge. And then I would be drinking 1, 2, 3 drinks every night. And I just got to the point where I was so fatigued, so burnt out feeling, that I realized like, this isn't the mom that I want to be. I can't function and do my responsibilities every day like this. And so I have to, suck it up and go back to what works. And so I stopped drinking and went back to carnivore, and it's been almost a year now. And I struggled this time. It didn't come like a sort of miracle, like the first time. I've really had to experiment and figure out how much to eat and when, and add in other things in my lifestyle like sun exposure and a lot of relaxation techniques to deal with my anxiety, as it's been tapering off, but teach myself better habits instead of turning to alcohol right away every time I have a stressful day or a problem or something like that. And so it's definitely been a journey, but it's really a transformation that I'm proud of, and I'm very passionate about spreading this message because I think there's so many people that suffer in silence. I know that was the case for me with digestive issues. It's an uncomfortable thing to talk about. Nobody really wants, that's not something even with close friends you always feel comfortable talking about. And so, and then especially with the addiction component, nobody really wants to admit that, a lot of times too. And so I think it's important to have those conversations so that people can get help. And a lot of times it's purely as simple as changing the food that you buy at the grocery store and what you cook and put in your mouth and what you abstain from. And so that's why I'm out here talking about it. Again, here on the internet.
Thank you. How about you, DC?
Yeah, I mean, I really want to help people get their story out as well. And I think it all starts with the way you eat, what you consume. I mean, there's many other aspects to it, but the biggest thing for me too is I want to show people that it doesn't matter how far gone you are, there is a way back, and you can improve your life. Doesn't matter. I mean, I've been stuck in bed for years, and I've been I've been in the darkest places that I ever want to go. But people, I've seen a lot of people give up. After the quake in Japan, well, actually, even years before that, my sister, she took her own life. My oldest sister, and then after the earthquake, I saw it all the time. People gave up because they felt like they lost everything. They lost their farm, or they lost their home, or their business, or anything like that. And they took their lives, a lot of it. And I mean, it's a very common thing in Japan, which is where I was living at the time. But, one of the biggest motivators for me is to show people that you don't have to give up. You can make improvements, and it's amazing how resilient your body can be. Like I said, I've been in the lowest places you could ever get, and the improvement that I've seen in myself, I know other people can do as well. So I really want to show people, I've lost everything in my life too, my business, my home, everything else like that. But there's always more. You can always get more stuff. So the biggest thing for me is show people what I do to manage my health, to make sure that I stay in remission, to make sure that I manage my blood count, manage my lymphoma, and try and get life back on track. Hopefully, other people will say, well, if he can do it, I can do it too. Because I believe if it's humanly possible, that means that we can all do it too. I've seen other people do it, so why can't we?
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you guys for sharing. I wanted to point out here, we have someone here from California, from Miami, from what's the name of the city in Australia?
What's that?
What city do you live in? DC,
I live close to Brisbane City
Brisbane.
in Queensland
All right.
state.
And then we have, and where are you, Nia?
Dallas, Texas.
And you're in Dallas. Okay. Oh my gosh, how did you fare through the hurricane passing through, the tropical storm?
Oh yeah, we got some sprinkles
That's it?
on a day, and that's it. I think it went, directly east of where
Oh,
I'm at.
okay. Because I just saw
Um,
the track after you said Dallas. I thought, oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it came close though.
Okay. All right. We have a
Bunch of my
question.
I was just gonna say a bunch of my relatives are in Texas, and 10 of them had no power for
Yeah,
over
I
a
saw a
day.
lot of no power.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's millions without power apparently. So
Wow.
Mhm.
yeah. we're lucky.
Apparently, you have it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have one question here. I'm so excited. I got a question here. I clicked the wrong one. Hold on. Here it is.
There you go.
There it is. Do you take supplements like magnesium or iodine in addition to electrolytes? And I know DC's viewpoint on this. So let's go around. My belief on supplements is that because we're eating I call it the proper human diet, because we're eating foods that are ancestrally appropriate for our human species, which is beef, lamb, pork, poultry, fish, and eggs, cooked in animal fats. It's the heart attack diet that Rick talks about. It's animal products, all right? Whether you have some vegetables with it or not, ketovore. When you eat that way, you're getting all of your protein, all of the amino acids that make up a complete protein. We're getting all of our omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids in a healthy 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 ratio, all right? Because we're not doing seed oils and processed food. And we're getting all of our fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, E, and K. We're getting all of our water-soluble vitamins, especially all the B vitamins that you don't get if you're a vegan. And we're getting all of our electrolytes. However, I believe in today's modern farming, the land being stripped through all of the strip agriculture, the way it's being done, the ground has less iodine in it, and less magnesium. And so if you're getting signals from your body that maybe you have cramps or whatever, you may need to add magnesium supplementation, which I do because I have a condition called atrial fibrillation. And with AFib, magnesium has this way of eating and magnesium, I'm in complete remission from my AFib. So I really believe it's from the magnesium. It also helps me sleep at night and helps me move my bowels regularly. I notice that my body functions really well on a very clean, by the way. I buy the bottle, I read the ingredients. It's very hard to find them, but the very clean magnesium threonate or a citrate is what I use. And then iodine, I have a little dropper bottle that comes from sea kelp. I put like 2 drops in my drinking water that I drink every day, just because. I mean, I probably get enough iodine because I eat shrimp a couple times a week, but I add a couple drops anyway. If I have any extra, it'll flush out. So those are my thoughts. And I really don't believe we need to supplement anything else if you're eating them properly. All right. What are your thoughts? Kirsten?
So I agree with everything you said in the first part of I don't need to rehash it. Like you
All
said
right,
it,
all right.
right? Proper human diet, all that. But I do believe, like you, that if your body is giving you signals, or maybe you got a blood test from your doctor, like I did, that tells you have a deficiency, then maybe, and maybe not to say that you would have to take those supplements forever, maybe being on the proper human diet long enough, those deficiencies might correct themselves. But in my case, I had a low thyroid that my doctor kind of refused to acknowledge or deal with because my LDL was so high, and she only wanted to talk about putting me on a statin. And I asked her several times about my thyroid. She just didn't. She just ignored, like I wasn't even talking, and she just went right back to my cholesterol. So I thought, well, I guess I'm on my own to handle this. And I researched it, and like you, John, I found that iodine is sort of important for thyroid function. And because of the soil depletion too. So I did start putting a couple of drops of iodine in my drinks and taking that. But I did that for a good 6 months, and I still felt those low thyroid kind of energy, kind of like, it's kind of like it's different than just being sleepy. Like it's a tired that's different than being sleepy. It's like bone weary kind of exhaustion. And I would still have periods of that. And so I've switched to taking like a beef thyroid supplement, and I've been doing that for maybe 3 weeks. Now, to be fair, I always have more energy on summer vacation because I'm not teaching kids all day.
Yep.
So I think the real test will be in August when I go back to teaching. But it's like that. Like, yes, when it's time to go to sleep at night, I'm tired, but like that fatigue, that deep fatigue that I've been experiencing since my 20s, I haven't been feeling that since about a week after starting on that. So maybe that's the ticket for me. I don't know. And I don't have any more blood work to prove it with numbers or anything in that regard. Also, my legs will cramp at night if I don't have enough electrolytes. And so I'll wake up in the night, I'll feel it coming on, and I'm like, oh no, because as soon as you feel it coming on, you know it's about to hurt really bad. And then
Yeah.
your whole calf just
You try to jerk your leg the other way and
Yeah,
say, no.
No,
Yeah.
and then it does it anyway, and it just hurts. And
Oh,
so
boy.
yes, I
Yeah.
do take an electrolyte supplement, but if my legs didn't cramp at night, I wouldn't do that, right? So it's in response to
Right.
information I've been given through my blood work or my experience, just in my daily life with my own body and what it's doing.
Okay.
But that's really it. I don't take anything further than that.
I also meant to mention salt. I use a salt. I salt my food to taste. Tonight for dinner, I wanted lots of salt. I tasted a piece of my meat. We had flank steak tonight on the grill, and I wanted more salt. You can take a little taste, and that's your body signal telling you if it's not salty enough, too salty. You listen. You start when you clean up your body by eating cleanly. You can see and sense these signals, whereas before you were in a fog. You probably wouldn't have been able to sense the signals when we ate the standard world diet full of crap. Rick, do you add any supplements at all?
No, I haven't had supplements since I was a kid. My parents used to give me a lot of vitamins when I was growing up, but as part of the heart attack diet, I kind of rejected it. I've never experienced the cramps that you talk about. I've had times where my muscle was hurting the next day because I was doing a lot of work. Maybe I was doing a lot of moving things around or digging or whatever, but I've never experienced those cramps.
Can you guys hear him?
And I'm always,
I can't hear anybody.
Can't hear me?
All right.
You're right, Rick.
I
We
have to
can
Oh, I'm
go
talk
out
okay.
and come back in. This happens every once in a while. I'm
You're
going to
good,
go out and
Rick.
come
I
back.
think it's
Can
on
I do that
John's
if I'm
end.
the
Okay, no
the
problem.
host here?
My equipment is old, so I always tend to think
All
that
right.
it's
All
failing.
right, I'm going to go out and come back in. I hope this works. No,
But anyway,
I
if
can't
it's
do that. It's going
recording-
to end the stream.
Oh,
How do
You
I
can't
fix
just-
this?
I think he
See
can
if I
leave the
change the
studio.
audio.
yeah.
If you just go backstage, John, and then come back in, that might
Yeah.
help.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't hear anything.
No
Can
one's
one of
talking
you
at the
type in the
moment.
comments something to tell me what to do? If
Backstage, it says.
if I quit this, is that going to cause the whole stream to end and I can't re-enter it?
Yeah.
Or can I re-enter it?
No. Hang on, John.
Yeah, I am wearing headphones, Nia, but I tried switching it over. Christy says go backstage.
I try
How
unplug
do I do
the.
that? Oh no, that was from before.
Hope I
I
didn't
think.
break it.
I had to set up.
Try
Click
unplug the
remove.
headphones.
Where's remove, Nia? Oh, I'm so sorry, everybody who's watching. Oh, crap.
Can you hear anything?
Your picture's at the bottom. Oh, remove my picture at the bottom.
Okay. We're still going. That's good.
Okay. So
I'm re-adding. I
that's-
still don't hear
There
you
it
guys.
goes.
Crap.
Did you come back?
I don't know
So-
what to do. Can you answer? I can't hear. No, I can't hear you without
Oh.
the headphones. I can't hear
Okay.
you
Oh.
on without the headphones or with. All right. Can you, if I answer this question, if I click leave studio and re-enter it and I let you all back in, does that end my stream permanentely? Because
Probably.
apparently you guys can hear me. You don't know. I'm getting lots of text here. Oh, I hate this. Remove yourself from the stage and then log back into the stream again. Well, I've removed.
Okay. It's still going.
Yeah, either way, we
All
could
right.
just start
I'm
over.
going to leave the studio and come back. And if we never come back again, that means I ended the stream accidentally. I can click end stream at the top as well and then restart maybe. I'm going to
Just
No,
try
no, you
leaving.
can't
end
Just
stream.
no. No.
Yes. All right, here we go. What you're saying don't? No. Nia says no. All right. What if I click leave studio at the bottom? Do I do that?
Yes.
Try leave studio. Here we go. If we don't see each other again, and audience, I'm so sorry. This is my first time. I'm going to leave.
didn't
and try to come back. And
vaporize.
if we
We're
don't come
just-
back, thank you for coming. I hope we come back.
Just start again, dude.
Leave studio. Leave.
Okay. So Rick, why don't you keep talking and then hopefully he'll come back.
Yeah, you
Hopefully
can
he
tell
knows
us
what
your
I
story,
meant.
Yeah.
Rick.
Yeah,
I can
tell
keep
us your
on
story.
talking as long as I got somebody to listen to me.
We're listening,
So-
man. Go for it.
All right, we're back. It works.
Yeah, there we go.
Yay!
Yeah, there you go.
This is the best way to learn, by doing.
This is
Yeah.
classic me. I do everything by mistake. I'm the greatest learner through every mistake you can make in your life. Oh my gosh. All right. So for some reason, I don't know why the sound goes, it goes out every once in a while. And then I go out and come back in, but I wasn't the host all those other times. So
Mhm.
now I know that if I do this, I won't lose everybody.
Hmm.
And I know
That's
how to
great.
do it. All right. Where were we? Were we with Rick?
Yeah, Rick was
Rick-
telling
Rick
us his
was
story.
talking.
Supplement.
Sorry, Rick.
Never had cramps, but he's had DOMS.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Sorry, everybody. Go ahead, Rick. Finish.
Yeah, I mean, I've just, for some reason, I'm one of the few people that's never experienced the muscle cramps, but I have been sore the next day after hard work. And I don't think that's related to any electrolytes or anything like that. I barely use any salt. I never salt beef because I don't like it. I do salt my heart attack chicken because it tastes better with salt. And I do like to salt some seafood. I don't salt snapper grouper, but I do like to salt shrimp. And, you know, I'm trying to think what else. Iguana, that's a toss-up. A lot of times I like the iguana plain. I don't like to salt the iguana.
What about you, DC?
Because-
You like your iguana salted or plain?
I've never had. I've never
Are you
been
being
that desperate
serious?
yet.
Rick's being
Yeah,
serious.
yeah, Rick's
Like you
serious.
actually like hunt iguana and
Oh, yes.
catch them?
Yeah.
There's short videos of me catching iguanas, cutting them up, cooking them. I fry them. I boil them. I love iguana.
You can
I
eat
love
them.
reptile
Yeah,
meat.
yeah.
I've had snake, you know, iguana, frogs. I used to go frogging a lot when we still had frogs. We don't have them anymore because the development wiped them out. But, you know, iguana is
think Rick
everywhere and you can
wiped
always
them
find
out.
them. Most people don't even like them. So I have people that actually pay me to get rid of them. So the yard's overrun with iguanas. I'll go there and, you know, get as many as I can. I'm not going to throw them in the garbage. I'm going to cook them up.
No.
They're
Literally.
delicious.
Certain times of the year here in South Florida, I ride my bike every morning and I go through this beautiful park that we have. And there's a place I ride my bike by on purpose. And there are literally like hundreds of iguanas near this
Mhm.
tube where the water is. And I ride my bike and they see me coming and they get all scared and I like watching them run away. And I always think of you, Rick.
They're an
What about the,
ecological disaster
They
in
can
some
be.
areas
Yeah.
because they're eating
They're
a lot
eating
of plants. They eat flowers. They eat fruits. So people that have plant nurseries, they hate them because they destroy all their ornamental
it.
plants.
They do.
There's poop everywhere. They
Big
go in
poop.
swimming pools
Yeah.
and they poop there, and they're all over. They go in the water. They swim like you wouldn't believe. So
Mm.
anytime that I can catch some and get rid of them, a lot of people I know are extremely happy. And I have other people that shoot them and they'll give them to me instead of throwing them out. I said, don't put them in the garbage. If you just shot the iguana, give it to me. Just let me know if you used a buckshot so I don't have to chip my teeth again eating iguana meat. I've done that before. I got a chip on one of my molars from chewing on iguana meat.
Don't you
Good
hate
shot
when
with
that
buckshot.
happens?
Oh, I hate when that happens. But you know, I'm the king of roadkill. Every time that we used to have deer down here, I used to get them for roadkill,
Wow.
roadkill duck. You know, even things that you shouldn't eat, like an alligator, which technically you're supposed to have a license to hunt. I've got roadkill, you know,
Have you
roadkill
really? I know
alligator.
you can eat alligator. I've seen it in
You
restaurants.
can eat it. It's just some legal nonsense. And of course, the pigs, when we used to have the wild hogs, a lot of times you get them, they get run over. I'd get them. You know, I've tried all kinds of roadkill as long as
Wow.
it's fresh and it's not smashed flat, it's edible. So I'm the weird one in the carnivore
You're
community.
weird, but you're interesting, and people want to hear
Oh,
from you.
interesting is a good way of putting
And you're
eccentric.
interesting because you're not like
Well,
everybody
I think it's
else.
very
No, no,
self-resilient too.
When you're rich, they call you eccentric. When you're
Right.
poor, they call you interesting.
Well, I don't know if you're poor. You're in between, maybe.
But I'll tell you, there's nothing I hate more than wasting stuff. And one of the things I don't like about my vegan friends is that they waste so much food
Yeah.
and so many
Mm.
packages. It's just like their garbage can is a fermenting mass of nastiness. They're talking about cow farts and they're producing more methane than the cow that I ate ever did because they have garbage fermenting in the garbage can. It goes in the garbage truck and then it ferments in the landfill. I'm
Mm.
telling them, I said, look, guys, if you're going to eat all that plant material, try not to waste it. But they buy a lot of vegetables, and you know what happens? Half of them are edible, and what happens to the rest of them? They rot. Then they end up in the garbage, and none of the vegans I know really do any serious gardening. I've tried to get them to garden, but it always turns into a disaster. The insects and the animals outside. In fact, the one, vegan friend I have, she's the one that gets me to get the iguanas out of the yard because they were eating all of her veggies. And she's afraid of lizards. So I went back there with my crossbow and I must have gotten like 14 or 15 of them out of that yard.
Wow.
And every time they have a problem, I go there and get more. And then I walk out of the backyard holding the tail of like 7 or 8 iguanas. And
Wow.
her friends that are vegan, one time they came over and they saw me with those things and they were feeling sick and horrified. And I tried to explain, I said, look, if you're going to be a vegan and you're going to eat plant material, you got to compete with everything else that's out there. And that includes iguanas. And if you live in a rural area, that's going to be the deer. So what are you going to do? You have a choice. You can try to protect your vegetables from what eats them, but guess what? That's not easy. The iguanas can always find their way in. They can dig holes under the
Yeah.
ground. They can fit through the fence. So they're always going to get your plants. And the deer, they jump over the fence. So there's really only one way. And if you have pigs, some places here used to have those wild pigs. And they can devastate your garden. You get a couple of them in there and you'll end up, it looks like a bulldozer went through there and just tilled everything up. So the ultimate solution is you get the predator in there, you kill the prey, and then your vegetables are able to grow with a lot less problems. So either that's going to be a natural predator or it's going to be your local friendly carnivore. One of the two.
Call Rick. You need to have a 1-800 number. Name on one of those benches on the side of the road.
Well, I'm kind of the go-to hotline for several of my friends because
That's
whenever there's an iguana problem, even if they have a duck problem, ducks are
They
really
can get
friendly.
evasive. I've heard communities that it gets out of hand sometimes.
Ducks are extremely cute and friendly and lovable, but the problem is they eat like crazy. They poop like you wouldn't believe. You got a feathered fertilizer spreader, and the amount of duck poop that you can get is just mind-boggling. I've gone to someone's home and their whole sidewalk is covered in duck poop, and I'm sliding around like if I was ice skating. That's how bad it is. And then, of course, they eat everything in sight. They eat all the grass. They eat all the plants, and they're having a freak out moment. So I come with my cages and my pickup truck or my van,
Wow.
and I catch them with my net. I stuff them in the cages. I bring them to my house. I turn them loose, and then they can go to the canal if they want to, or they can hang around here, and I'll feed them duck food. And I find the nicest ones, I make them my friends, and the ones that are kind of mean and difficult to deal with, I have a special place in the kitchen for them. They may get a little rest in the refrigerator for a little while, and then next thing you know, they're going to be delicious. That's just, what could be better than that?
Yeah.
You go out on the road, you get run over by a car, or you pay one of these duck killing services to poison them, and then they die a slow death, or they get shot at, and then the ducklings are left orphaned. Or I just come and take the whole group, mama ducklings, everything, bring them here, let them do their thing. And when I get too many ducks, well, it's time to start cooking. There's no downside to this, even though some of the vegans I know are horrified. One time I was plucking a duck, and my one vegan friend, she comes over and she sees me holding the thing by its feet, and there's feathers all over the yard. And she says, "Oh, I've just witnessed a murder scene." Like, no, you haven't witnessed a murder scene. you're going to witness a delicious dinner. That's not a murder scene. You know, just you get a duck that's mean. What are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
Take it somewhere else and have it cause trouble there, or take care of it yourself. It's so simple. It's delicious. There's no downside to it.
And you're saving lots of money if that's your food too.
Saving lots of
Yeah.
money, and my vegan friends are not being driven crazy. You know, they go crazy with the bugs. And I try to explain to them, I said, well, if you had your own little flock of ducks, you could train them. They'll eat the bugs. You feed the ducks. They're not going to eat your vegetables. They may eat a tomato now and then or peck on a watermelon, but you're better off having animals in your garden than trying to use all the organic pesticides.
Well, the ecosystem, you can have your whole ecosystem set up there, so it
Well,
takes
that's it.
care of itself, the mosquitoes and everything. Nia, how about you with minerals and supplementation?
I started out taking like a full electrolyte supplement. I make my own at home. And then I've noticed recently that I can't do a whole lot of salt anymore. So I cut my salt back drastically. And that improved several things. And then I just I was still taking like the potassium, magnesium, thinking maybe I still need it, but then I forgot for like 3-4 days in a row. And I didn't notice a difference. And so I just haven't been taking any since. And I seem to be fine. So I don't do zero salt, but I don't add any more to my water, and I don't add anything else to it. I'll just, on a day I feel like I need salt, I'll put a little. And it's hot here right now. It's in the 90s or 100s every day and kind of humid. So there are some days where I'm like, oh, I feel like I sweated a lot, where I might need a little salt, but I'm pretty much off of everything. I was doing iodine drops as well I think I started in November and took them up until recently too, probably about the same time I stopped doing the salt. Because I didn't really notice a difference a whole lot. And I had started like with a couple drops and went up to about 6 or 7 drops a day and didn't really notice anything different. And I haven't felt different since I stopped taking those. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I feel like the longer you go, at least for a lot of people, your body balances out. It becomes very efficient at using what it does get. And so, perhaps we won't all need to kind of like you were saying, Christy, where, depending on where you're coming from, where your background is, maybe you need some in the short term, but eventually it'll probably work itself out.
Yeah. And DC, I know you have some strong opinions about pharmaceutical supplements.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing too. People don't understand that, their supplements are still made by pharmaceutical companies, the same people that make drugs. Okay. So they have the same ingredients in a lot of them. And when you buy supplements also, they only need like a very, very trace minimal amount to have like to actually market that supplement as what they say, for example, vitamin B sort of thing. It only has to have a very, very trace amount of that vitamin in that for you to actually sell it as that vitamin. I think they're a complete waste of money 9 times out of 10. They break down in your stomach acid anyway. But having said that, I mean, like, especially when people first go carnivore and their body is usually dumping water, or anytime that you dump water or you excess sweat, for like in summer, for example, depends on where you are, your body is dumping electrolytes as well. And most people are already deficient in potassium and magnesium, especially if they're on the standard Western diet. So if you can find a good supplement and you feel you need it, then I think you should take it. But there are things that you need to watch out for when you buy supplements. The ingredients, for example, a lot of the binders are like veggie gums and seed oils and things like that are working against you for a start. And I don't think you should ever supplement things that your body is supposed to or makes itself. So like I know vitamin D is a very common one that people they think they have to supplement lots of vitamin D, but there's a lot of things going on. Like vitamin D, D3, okay, is a human hormone. It's produced in your cholesterol. Okay, you do not need to supplement it. The only way that you are going to increase your vitamin D levels into your bloodstream is to eat lots of a good variety of animal fats. Okay, increase your cholesterol production and spend some time out in the sun, because that reaction, that absorption of red light therapy from the sun, stimulates your body to produce more vitamin D from your cholesterol. So it's kind of like when you get hormone replacement therapy, if you're taking say testosterone, for example, to boost your testosterone in your bloodstream, your free testosterone, your body stops making it. It just slows down the production. And D3 is exactly the same. Other people will also test low. So when you get blood tests, you have to understand too, blood tests are like done over like what's in your blood at the time of extracting the blood for a start. It's done like an average over the population. So it could be, ridiculously off anyway. And if you are D3, for example, is a fat soluble vitamin. Okay, so or hormone, I should say. So if you are obese, you are going to store a lot of that in your fat cells. So it's not actually going to be as much in your bloodstream as there is actually in your fat cells. So supplementing because you tested low on D3 is just working against yourself. So there's a lot of things going on with that, things like that. When it comes to like when you're dumping water and you're thinking about talking about electrolytes. Yes, we need to replace electrolytes, but you can get that from a really good mineral salt. I've never supplemented with electrolytes. I did when I was younger. I took potassium and magnesium. Magnesium is fantastic for many things, preventing cramps, muscle recovery, inflammation, and other things as well. But you can supplement with that stuff. You can also get like direct bath salts. If you have say like a really nice hot bathtub, okay, like a hot bath with these mineral salts, okay, your body's also going to absorb it through your skin. I think that's going to be a more effective way of absorbing it, and it will help you with recovery, sleep, and many other things, muscle cramps. I don't think that an oral supplement is going to be as effective as most people think. So I just think there's a lot of things you need to sort of watch out for as well.
So in the bathtub with the minerals, because our skin covers more square footage or whatever, we can absorb more efficiently than through our stomach.
Yeah, absolutely.
It makes a lot of sense.
Your stomach breaks it down. The stomach acid breaks it down.
That's true.
Before it even gets to your digestive tract, so you're really not absorbing much. And the fact is, like these supplements, even even a good quality supplement, it's really doesn't. It's okay. There's a number of factors there too. One, it's a manufactured supplement. It's a manufactured vitamin. Okay, so it's not a natural vitamin. Even when it comes from a natural source, it's heavily processed. It's been cooked, and just like everything else, it has a number of problems that come with that sort of processing. And then it gets broken down your stomach acid before it even reaches your digestive tract. So if your lymphatic system, it's designed to absorb your vitamins and minerals and electrolytes and everything like that through fats. So it gets before it even reaches your colon and anything like that. All that gets absorbed into lymph fluid and then gets pushed around your body through your lymphatic system to help your hormone production, fat loss, and all that, everything that everyone wants. So those are the things that you have to sort of consider when you buy a supplement. Okay.
Very good points. Really good points. And when you told me about all this stuff probably a few months ago, those are points I never really considered. So now I think about that.
Yeah.
Especially, I never really thought about, your skin. It's just so much more surface. You can absorb it into your skin better. I need consider the
Plus,
stomach acid part.
if you have a good mineral salt,
Mhm.
like a really good quality mineral salt, drink it in your water
Yeah,
as well. It's a really good way to absorb it because your body is designed to absorb fats and like fat soluble vitamins and minerals and water soluble.
right.
So if it's in your water, if you have a good filtered water
Mhm.
and you remineralize it, that's going to help. It's going to be a much better way to
Right.
absorb it.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Have it in there. Well, we're at the hour mark, and this flew by. And thank you so much for helping me get back on and not drop off the system. Now I know how that works a little better. And I just really appreciate you all for coming on and being my guests on my first live. And I'm going to make a copy of this so I can send it to you. So if you want to load it up to your YouTube that way, since I don't have the stream connection as of
Right.
yet, I might pay for this system. I kind of like it. So we'll see. And any of my viewers who are watching, if you like these and you'd like me to do a weekly one, let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll start one. I have to figure out a time that doesn't compete with Christy or Larry when he comes back on, or Nia's, because I want to be on yours and not compete. And DC, you
Not
kind of
enough
do
hours.
different ones at different times, right?
Yeah, I do more. Yeah, at the moment, I did have a steady one that everyone sort of abandoned. So at the moment, I'm just do it whenever I have time.
After
I just put it in,
all right.
and yeah. So
And then
I
Rick,
work
and Rick, I have your email address now because I saw it in somebody else's list, so I can email you anytime I have one now, so I don't have to
Okay.
ask you for it. So thanks again, everybody. I'm going to end the thing now, and I think you stay on and we get to talk a little bit. So now I go up to the top and click end stream, but you're still on.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
See everyone.
Bye.